welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we are going to be starting part 3 of our color along. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2 yet, I recommend doing so. And if you're following along, I hope you're as excited as I am. So we have been working in Hannah Lynn's Whimsy Girl Celebrate the Holidays and Festive Occasions. I am obsessed with our page so far. So we are working on Easter Sunday, which I chose this one because I thought it would be quite suiting for April, and I don't know why, but this page just stuck out to me so much. It's so whimsical and adorable, and I'm loving it. So today we are going to start by kind of working on some of the decorations. So I've got some colors figured out for the straw in the basket and then the basket itself, and then we can color in the little kids' baskets in the background. I'm still very much undecided about dress color and hair color. Hair color even more so now because one of the other admins in the Hannah Lynn group recommended a different color of hair than I was originally thinking, and now I don't know. So I'm gonna get as much details colored as we can, and then I'm thinking that we'll probably use the tracing paper trick to kind of see what hair color would look best, because I am very indecisive, and I don't think I'm going to make up my mind unless I can actually see what it's going to look like, and I, for some reason, just can't visualize it in my head. So with that all being said, let's dive on in. So I'm just going to zoom in here, and we're going to start on this basket, I think. Actually, let's start on the straw. So there's not a whole lot of straw, and I do have 5 colors here. Yeah, 5. So we'll see what we can do. We're going to start off with the burnt ochre. I do have a couple pieces of paper in behind this one just to protect the pages behind, which is a good habit to get into even if you're not using mediums that bleed through, because it protects the tooth of the paper from indentations on the next page. Okay, so let's come in with the burnt ochre. This is going to be our shadow color, so we do want a fair bit of this, but there's also not a whole lot of space, so we don't want too much of it either. And then I'm just going to assume that all of this is straw here, so we'll just color all the shadows here. We'll probably just go, I think, around these lines. It's okay if the shadows are a little bit sharper, so if there's not enough room to fade off, then that's totally fine. We can leave some of this as just shadow and go from there. So I'm pretty much going in with full capacity here. I've got a very sharp pencil, so I don't have to push a whole lot, but I'm definitely getting some good coverage in here. It's not burnished by any means, but there is a lot of color down. And that's because our next colors are kind of going to mute this, so I want this to be a little bit darker. This little duckling is so cute. Make sure we've got all of that. I think it looks good. I think this back here might actually be part of her apron and then her dress. I mean, I'm not sure, but it is kind of following the same pattern. This is more like choppy. This has just one little, I think it is. I think this is part of the apron and this is part of the dress. So we're only going to color up to here as straw. Okay. There's the burnt ochre. Our next color is the goldenrod. I'm going to keep some pretty sharp pencils here because we're working on such a small area, so we might as well make our lives a little bit easier where we can. I do want a fair bit of this color, but we definitely want to save room for these other colors. I'm not sure if we'll end up using all of the colors that I had set out. So I'm going to go in over top of the burnt ochre. I'm going to bring this out just a little bit, still leaving a lot of white space. Let's color in a little bit here too. This really big white space, I think, should have a little bit of shadow to it. I think we probably will end up using all of these colors. So next up is the sand. So same thing, I'm just going to pop this in, kind of coming out from the goldenrod, and then we'll leave just a slight highlight for the last two colors, which one of them is just going to be used to give this more of a yellow, brighter tone. And then the other one is going to be used to just go over everything and mute it down just a little bit. Okay, next is the Deco Yellow. I'm just going to lightly go over everything with this. This is where that yellow tone is going to come from, so I'm using just kind of a medium pressure to go over everything. And then we're going to go over everything again with the cream, burnish everything down, and just blend it all out. Okay, so we got some pretty interesting looking straw and not a whole lot of work. And I guess I could have done this as any color, but I don't know why, but because there was a duckling in there, I just wanted it to look like straw. So that's kind of what I went with. Okay. So next we're going to color the basket. So I'm just going to set these pencils aside for now. We might use them later, not really sure. And we'll grab these ones out. I don't quite know how to color this, to be honest. I would like the whole basket in frame, which I think we're good there. Okay. I'm just going to look up Easter basket. And again, could make this colorful, but since all the eggs and like everything around the picture is colorful, I think we're just going to go with a generic brown basket. But I'm going to search for a reference. Just to make life a little bit easier. Can't really find one that looks like this though. Okay, let's just wing it. I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, so sharp pencils. So let's start on the handle because that's like the less intimidating part. So I'm just going to come in with the black just above these lines. To the left on here. I want it to look like this is like the lip of the basket, like it comes over a little bit. So I do want to put in a shadow underneath this part too. So we'll do that before we forget. Put in a fairly dark shadow and fade it down a little bit. kind of outline every other square maybe. So all of the squares that have horizontal lines on them. Just gonna put a slight outline and I'm just torn between whether, because this is kind of like a checkerboard pattern with the way it's woven. I'm just kind of on the fence about making the squares different colors or not. A little bit of a shadow coming up from along this bottom line as well. I think let's go ahead, because I kind of like the way this is looking right now. So let's go ahead and make this look slightly checkered. It's going to be with the same colors, so it's not going to look really different, but we're just going to make these squares that we outlined a little bit darker. Next color is the dark umber. So as always, we're going to go over top of our previous color, which was the black. We're going to bring this out a little ways. I don't want the basket handle to be too dark, so we're only going to bring this out just slightly past the black. This one we can just color in completely, and we're also just going to shadow the top part of this too, where the bow is sitting. This one we're going to shadow underneath her hand here. We're going to go in underneath on this shadow here that we put in, and we're also going to bring that down slightly. We're going to go in on these lines, just like we did with the black, but on the vertical ones. We're going to just slightly bring up this bottom shadow as well. And then let's go in over the darker squares too. Between the black and the dark umber, it's going to be mostly filled in. There'll be a little bit of room for another color, but that's okay because we want it dark, so we don't need to fit all of the colors here. think that's looking good so far. Our next color is the terracotta. This one, there's not a whole lot of room left, so I'm just going to bring this out very lightly. I'm mostly going to go over the shadows, just to kind of give them a little bit more of that warmer brown tone. Let's go into these vertical squares a little bit here. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. And while we do that, I'm just going to debate on whether we should color the vertical squares in with this color, or the horizontal squares. Maybe color in the tops and the bottoms of these guys too, just a little bit. Let's lightly color in these dark squares, but we're not going to burnish with this color. We'll come in with the next color and burnish it, just so it's not too dark. Burnt ochre is our next color. We're going to try to leave a little bit of a highlight where we can, but we're going to lightly go over that highlight with the burnt ochre too. I'm coming in with a medium pressure on these squares. They're not fully burnished. We'll burnish those with the last color, which is going to be the cream. But we're going to make sure that they've got a lot of this color in them. out from this shadow a little bit, and then just going to add a little bit more of this color to these vertical ones, but for the most part we're just lightly fading over it too, and we'll go back in with the cream. I'm kind of outlining the square as well. Cream is the last. Mine's pretty small, so I'm gonna put it in a pencil extender. And then we're just gonna come through. We're gonna put the cream into the highlights and then work our way into the shadows and just burnish and blend everything with this color, and it's going to lighten it up quite a bit, which is going to be good. It's going to add quite a bit of character. This one here though, I'm going to go in with the dark umber just where it pops out from behind that bow, because it just looks a little too bright there and looks off, so that's better. And I'm just going to burnish these in the direction that the lines are going. I was a little bit weary when I picked these colors, but this is a very rustic looking basket and I'm very much enjoying that. I was worried it would be a little bit too dark, but it adds some nice contrast to all the bright colors on the page. And then we'll get a little bit of balance with the kids' baskets as well. Obviously, we're not going to be able to put this much detail in on them, but we'll try and make them similar in color at least. Now, if you ever have scratches on your book like this, you'll find that they are extremely annoying, but if you use a decent amount of pressure, you can usually get the color into the grooves so that way they're not as noticeable. I'm not even sure if the camera is picking them up or not, but I can see them. It's so cute. Oh, I love this page. Okay, so for the kids' baskets, definitely gonna skip the black. Let's go in dark umber. And there's really not much we can do on these at all. So we're just gonna give them a little bit of a shadow. We're gonna skip straight to the burnt ochre. Just lightly go over that. And then we'll burnish with the cream. And there's an egg visible in each of their baskets, so when we color the eggs, we'll have to make sure we remember to do that. Which I think is what we'll do next. Grab some coffee here. I'm using my Halloween coffee cup. Love this one. It can be Halloween any time of year, right? I'm just going to pull these colors down so I don't have to constantly reach over top of the page. Okay, we definitely want a good variety of eggs. I'm going to start with some purple ones. So let's actually start in with the lavender. And I'm going to stick to kind of center eggs, or eggs kind of in around the center and not on the outside, just on the off chance we do make her dress lavender. That way they're not, because it'll be similar colors, so that way they're not too close in color. So we'll do, okay, let's do this one here. So I'm just going to lightly color the base color of lavender, so I'm avoiding the design. Let's do this one here. And then let's do this one. We are going to add a little bit of shading to these. We're not going to go too crazy with it, but make them look as good as we can. So this one we're going to come in with the Parma Violet. Just kind of on either side of the egg. And we'll fade that out. Right, back in with the lavender. this using a medium pressure because I don't want to fully burnish this or color over the Parma Violet, because these are both very, I don't know what the word is for them, but they lay down color very easily, and so they go over top of other colors very easily. I don't want it to get rid of the other colors. So we're going to come in with white, and we're going to use the white to burnish and blend this together, which is also going to make it appear more pastel too, which is what we want. We'll work on the base layers and then come in with the patterns after. Okay, so this one here, let's come in with the lilac. I'm going to use this as the shadow color. So again, just kind of coming in on either side. There's not a whole lot of this egg showing, so we'll just do what we can. And then I think we'll see what this one will look like finished off in Grade Lavender. So we're going to start in with a gentle pressure just in case we need to finish it with the white instead. Oh no, this one seems okay. So let's burnish it with this color. This one here, I'm going to grab the Blue Violet Lake. We use that for the shadows, and it's also going to add a little bit of extra interest to it because it's more of a blue color. And then we'll burnish that with the Grade Lavender. So there's the purple ones done. Just going to set these off to the side. We'll probably still use them because we'll probably have purple patterns on the other eggs, but for base colors, purple's done. So I still want to do some pink, blue, and green. I think I'm only going to do one green egg because we have so much green in the background already. Kind of the same with pink too. I think there's more, like around this area there's more green. So we're definitely going to want a couple pink eggs, I think. So let's do one green egg, two pink eggs, and one blue. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's start off with, we'll do one pink and one green for now and one blue. And then we'll see what they look like. Okay, so I'm going to base the pink egg with the Deco Pink, and I think I'm going to go with this one here, right in the center. Okay, we're going to use Process Red for our shadows. So pretty much just going to put this side of the egg in shadow. I'll lightly go over that and bring it out just a little bit with the hot pink. I'm going to fade that into the Deco Pink there, and then let's come in with the Neon Pink. We're just going to lightly go over all of this. But I think we're still going to finish it off with the white. Okay, let's do blue next. So pretty much just going to put this side of the egg in shadow. So I'm going to fade that into the Deco Pink there, and then let's come in with the Neon Pink. We're just going to lightly go over all of this. Okay, let's do blue next. We're trying to decide which egg and which shade of blue to go with. Okay, let's start with the light aqua. And let's do this egg here. So our light aqua is actually going to be our shadow color, so we're going to start in with this. Just add a little bit of shadow here. And you know what, I think we're going to do the bunny's bow in blue as well. So let's grab the non-photo blue. Just going to color the bottom part of that, fade it up. Let's grab the Caribbean blue. Just lightly come out from the non-photo blue, fade it off. This one I think we'll just leave, and then we'll finish both of those off with the sky blue light. Wasn't thinking. Okay, I think we are gonna have to do 2 blue eggs now, or another pink one, because I don't want both of those to be green. Should have done this one blue. I mean, we could do them 2 different colors of green. Yeah, let's do them 2 different colors of green. Okay, let's start with the true green. Which is gonna be this one. So this is our shadow color, so we're just gonna come in behind this one, and I don't know what this is, but we're just going to color that in green. We'll go in with a little bit of light green, fade that off. And then we're going to finish this guy off with the pale sage. And then this last egg is going to be pretty simple in color, so we're going to start with the spring green on each side, kind of go around the edges, fade that out, and then we're just going to finish that off with chartreuse. Okay, so now we just got to figure out the patterns on the eggs. So I think this one here definitely needs to be green. So I think we're going to go in with the spring green and chartreuse on this one. So we'll just put a little bit of spring green in on the bottom bits, and then the chartreuse over top of that, and coming out from that we'll color everything else in there. The dots on this, let's do with the other green. So we'll come in with the true green. I'm just going to put a little shadow of this just on the underside of these dots. And then we'll finish that off with the pale sage. I think that'll probably be it for our green accent. So let's see, we got blue, pink, and purple left. Okay, this one is the only one that I would do in purple, I think. So we'll go in with the Parma Violet. Same as on the last egg, we're just going to put a little bit of a shadow on these dots here. They're pretty tiny, so not a whole lot we can do. And then let's lightly color that in with the lavender, but we will burnish with the white. Pink and blue left. I think we're going to do 3 blue ones, 1 pink one. This one's going to be pink. So let's go in with the Process Red. A little bit on these dots if we can. Okay, and then I also want this chocolate bar wrapper to be in with the pink. So I'm just going to color either side of these lines, and then put a slight shadow on this heart here, fade it out. On the chocolate bar, let's just color this in with the neon pink. Same with our bunny's nose. We'll make just like a little triangle here. This we're going to lightly color in, but we're going to burnish this with the Deco Pink. Okay, and then blue. Let's start with the light aqua. We'll give our bunny some eyes. This one, let's start with a heavy amount of light aqua and then just kind of fade it out and up. And we'll just finish that one off with the pink, or with the white. This one, I'm just going to color either side. Fade it out, that's probably good for the light aqua. Then let's come in with the non-photo blue. And then we'll do either side of this one. Just lightly go over the center, and then let's finish both of those off with the sky blue light. Lots and lots of pencil switching, I apologize. Those are some good looking eggs, if I do say so myself, though. Okay, and then I do want, where is it? The Blue Violet Lake. We're gonna just add a little bit of a dark outline to the bunny's eyes. This has not helped me decide on dress color at all. Not even a little bit. Okay, options are, I mean, blue is not off the table. We could do blue, but I don't really want to do blue because we've got the flowers blue, so maybe not. So let's think. The other two options would be purple or pink. Whichever color the dress is not, so if it's purple, the bow and the lollipop will be pink. If it's pink, then the bow and the lollipop will be purple. Don't know about the candy bar. Duckling's going to be yellow, but I want a brighter yellow than we have here. I don't know if I can. See if we can get that color without making him too dark. So let's go in with the burnt ochre, get him colored and out of the way. So this is just a shadow color, don't want a lot of this. It's just on the outside of the wing, coming up from where he's sitting, and then a little bit on the bottom side of his head. That's it. And then do a little bit of goldenrod coming out from that, just lightly. Make sure we've got a decent fade so it blends nice, and then I think we can just color the rest of him in with the deco yellow. Maybe keep a highlight on the top of his head here for the cream, and then the top of his little body here, and the top of his wing. Note to self, clean off pencil first. That's okay. I'm going to come in with a little bit of the dark umber just on the very, very edges. I'm almost just going over the lines for the hay. Just to kind of break him up from the hay a little bit there. There we go. All right, the duck is done. What are we at for time? Okay, so we're at about an hour, so that's not bad at all. We're on part 3. Okay, I think in order to figure out the dress color, I need to figure out hair color. Because if her hair ends up being purple, which is the combination that Megan from the Hannah Lynn admin team mentioned, she is coloring this page with these absolutely gorgeous purple and cream colored mushrooms. And I mentioned how gorgeous that would be for a hair color for one of Hannah's Whimsy girls, and she mentioned that last night, and I kind of can't get that out of my head. So I think I'm going to write everything down that we've used so far, that way I don't get mixed up. And then I'm going to grab some color options for her hair, and then we'll do the tracing paper now. Once we figure out what color we're going to do her hair, then we can go from there and figure out the dress and the bow and the lollipop. And then I think after that, we're just going to finish this by coloring in the bow and the lollipop. And then I think we'll leave everything else for the next couple parts. So I shall be back. Alright, so I'm going to test out some hair colors here. I'm not going to include these colors in the intro because we're probably not going to be coloring the hair until the next part. But I did want to include this so that way you guys can see how I do this. So I'm going to try the orange combination first. And I'm going to do this just extremely messy because I'm not going to put a whole bunch of time into this. I mostly just need to get an idea of how it would look. I'm just going to go kind of up to here because with coloring in this much hair, I should be able to get a general idea of what I like and what I don't like. Just in case anybody's wondering though, that was poppy red. Now I'm going in with pumpkin orange. I'm already not sure about this one, but we'll finish it and see what it looks like. Okay, this one's yellowed orange. And this one is jasmine. Apologies if you can hear the hubby freaking out. Okay, so not a fan of that. It's a good hair color. I don't mind it, but it's a little bit too bold for this. We've got some really light pastels and just some natural whimsical colors going on, and this is just going to contrast with everything, and it's going to pull your attention onto her hair, and I don't think I want that. I kind of want this overall piece to be very balanced. I want everything to be harmonious together. I don't want any one thing being like the huge focal point. I mean, obviously she's already going to be the focal point, but I don't want her hair to be the focal point. So orange is most definitely out. So now it's between blonde and purple. So let's try the blonde next. And I'm thinking kind of, I was originally going to go with like a platinum blonde, but I'm going to kind of dirty blonde the roots up a little bit. So just pop tiny bits of brown in here and there. So this is the light umber that we're using right now. Okay, pumpkin orange is the next color. Okay, then goldenrod. Next up would be sand. There's quite a few colors to this combination. And then you can always make it more orangey, more brown. Just kind of depends on what you were going for. Okay, deco yellow is next. And then lastly, it would be cream. So I would definitely go less in with the orange. I might even like skip that altogether, but I do like that. I'd like it to be more blonde if I did do this, so it'd be more with the yellows, less with the darker colors. But I don't mind that. That looks okay. So the last one. So we're going to start off with the dioxazine purple hue. This is already a nice contrast with the trees. I do like that. Because the trees are a blue or a pink toned purple. And then this is a blue toned purple. We've got a lot of pink and blue throughout the image, so I feel like this hair color would work. I just don't know if it's too crazy. So we gotta test it out and see. And then figure out the dress color after that, because I think if I decide to do her hair purple, I don't think that I would. I think the puppy's dreaming. If I did her hair purple, I don't think I would do the dress purple. So that's going to be the deciding factor. Okay, then violet. Process red. Pink. I'd have to work very small to get all of these colors in here, but I think it would be worth it. Especially with the braids. Braids make it a little bit more difficult because they're so small. You want to get a good amount of that color in there so that way they don't look different than the normal hair color, but it's a tough one. Okay, so then the deco yellow and the cream, I think for this one would work hand in hand. That turned out too yellow. Maybe not the deco yellow. Would definitely be interesting. It would still make her hair a focal point, but not like crazy contrasting and almost clashing like the orange. I do like the blonde too, but I feel like we do blonde hair a lot. It'd be fun to do something different. I would definitely have to find a balance between the yellow and the purples for sure. There would either have to be more purple, less yellow, or less purple, more yellow. Let me just see. Because the picture that the admin girls, the picture, bleh, can't speak. The picture that Megan from the admin team was coloring, she was doing with different colored pencils. So I'm kind of trying to find colors that match close to that. And I think these ones do, however. They show up differently on tracing paper. So like I think they would be okay. But I think instead of the deco yellow, it would have to be just the cream. Which I don't know if, because I already put the deco yellow on the tracing paper and it doesn't go off as easily. So it wouldn't be yellow like that. I think it would be okay. Right, well, let's do her dress. I guess either way, there's pink and purple in her hair. I'm so undecided. We have a lot of pink up in the trees. So it would be nice to have some at the bottom. At that same time, there's not a lot of purple going on in the page, so it'd be nice to have a little bit more of that too. I just don't know what to do. I'm so undecided. Let's do a purple dress. Yeah, purple dress. So, which means the bow is going to be pink. The bow and the lollipops. So let's do that, and then that's going to be it for this part. And we'll figure everything else out next time. Okay, I am going to put some dark purple shadow into, like not dark purple, the color, but like a darker purple shadow into the bow, I think. So I'm going to grab the Parma Violet, and I'm going to use this to throw some shadow in, and this wants to break on me, so I'm going to resharpen this. Oh, come on, you stop that. I hate when my pencils break on me all the time. I feel like they'll be so good and then they just always break. This one's just broken on me like 3 times. Try a different sharpener, see if that makes a difference. Now it's really tiny. Dang it. Okay. Don't mind my phone. It's possessed. No, just kidding. Someone's trying to get a hold of me. So Parma Violet, then let's go in with the Process Red. So I'm going to put this in over top of the Parma Violet and fade it out a little bit. I'm just going to go on every line here, just pick a random side and just pop a little bit of this color in. Pencil's trying to run away. Let's see. I need this one next, so hot pink. Just going to lightly bring this out from the processed red and just fade it out lightly. I'm gently going over the highlighted area too. Add a little bit of this color to the lollipop as well. And then I think let's finish these off with whites. I want to keep them pretty light. I was thinking the Deco Pink. I always want to say Deco Peach, but no, we're using Deco Pink. Where is swatch for my whites? There it is. And then for the stick on the lollipop, I'm just going to come in with the dark umber lightly. Fade that out, and then I'm actually going to just come in with the grayed lavender and just burnish and blend that out all the way down. And the last thing I'm going to do is grab a purple fine liner, and I'm just going to go in over these lines and just bring them back out a little bit. Let's add Jesus. Okay, one thing that I forgot is the eggs in the kids basket. So I'm not gonna grab my swatches for this. I'm gonna grab non-photo blue for the boys. I'm just gonna color his in. And then I'm just gonna go generic gender colors and do pink for the girl. Because that's what I want to do. You can make them any color you want though. Okay. So Posca pen. I'm just going to add some shine to these eggs, make them look shiny. And then I should probably finish off with the duckling's beak, and then I think we'll call that good. I don't know what color duckling's beaks are though. Okay, it's kind of like a salmon peachy color, so let's grab our hot pink again. So I'm going to put a little bit of that down at the very bottom, and then let's finish this off with the Deco Pink. That's not the Deco Pink. There. Alright, I think this is where we're going to leave it. I'm going to zoom out, don't mind the mess if it's in camera. Ah, not bad, can't see it, good. I got a big mess to the side of me here. Alright, so that is how she's looking now. So we pretty much just have a couple other small details and then just skin and clothing. So it's hard to say whether we'll need a part 5 or not. We'll see what we get done next part. I think we probably will need a part 5 because I do plan on using acrylic paints to kind of fuzzy up her ears and then her little coats and then these little glove parts. So we'll make those all fluffy. So yeah, we'll probably definitely need a part 5. It's probably just going to be final details or just really short, but I'm glad that we have that extra little bit of time because it's been really nice to actually relax and just take my time with this one. And I think it's definitely showing in the picture too, so. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in part 4. Alright guys, bye. Take care.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than the sea. Is there something there for me?